Case 3125, Halstead versus First. All parties, please come forward.
Paul Halstead is suing his ex-girlfriend, Kayla First, for the return of a cat and money from an online fundraiser.
Mr. Halstead, for a brief period of time, you and the defendant were a romantic item and lived together for a short period of time.
Yes, that is correct.
From what I read from your complaint, you met on a dating app in February of 2022.
Yes.
And how much thereafter did you move in together?
I would say maybe like 3-4 months.
So maybe in June.
That sounds accurate.
Now, when you met in February of 2022, did you have the 2 cats that are at issue in this case?
So actually I had 3 cats, which I do still all have.
Just a second.
Oh.
I'm going to do this my way.
Okay.
February of 2022, you had 3 cats.
Correct.
What were their names?
We have Dumpling.
When was Dumpling purchased?
Purchased in July 24th, 2018.
Before you knew the defendant.
Yes.
And you don't deny that.
No, ma'am.
And the other cat, next cat.
Bellatrix, were purchased her the year before, so it'd be 2017 and approximately November.
Okay. Also, before you knew her.
Yes.
Third cat.
Is Ouija, where she was purchased in July of 2020.
Also before you knew the defendant.
Yes.
Did you have any cats prior to February of 2022?
I did not.
So this is what the case is about. It didn't work out. You moved in together in June of 2022, and you moved out on what date?
It would be middle of October of last year.
So you lived together for approximately a year and a half.
Yes.
And when you split, it is your claim that the defendant took your cat Dumpling.
Yes.
And that not only did she take your cat Dumpling, but at some point either after or before, she started a GoFundMe page for what you categorize as future surgery for the cat.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
And people actually gave you money for this future surgery for
Yes,
the
they
cat.
did.
Yeah. How much money did they give you?
It was approximately $383.
You want your cat back and any money that she collected from the GoFundMe page.
That is correct.
That's what the case is about.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Well, the money you don't get.
Oh, no, that's 100% fine.
The money you don't get.
Yeah,
I can't
Dumpling
think of a
is-
theory where you would be entitled to the money.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the cat. Let's talk about that, how that happened. Tell me, Ms. First, about the breakup. When did that occur and the circumstances surrounding you taking his cat?
Yes, so this would have been in October, early October. I already had kind of throughout my head, I already started a breakup letter due to, honestly, the lack of communication within the relationship.
Okay, good.
And then from
I'm not
there...
a therapist, I'm a
Yes, ma'am.
lawyer.
Ed claims his ex-girlfriend, Kayla First, is wrongfully keeping his cat. Kayla says he agreed to give her the cat.
Okay, go ahead.
I had come home from work the one evening to...
What evening?
I'm not sure the date at this time, but it was within the first week of October.
Okay.
And then from there, when I'm coming home, I saw Halstead on the couch to then Dumpling barely coming out, dragging herself over to me when she had then collapsed in front of me. From there, I went into hysterics and I had questioned Halstead if he had even noticed her and her state of that evening, and he said no. I then frantically kind of went around and I asked him to please take me to the emergency vet. To where I finally got there with her.
Just a second. Did you go together to the emergency vet?
Yes, we did.
So you went together to the emergency vet. Who drove?
I did.
Okay. Did she remain in the emergency room or go home with you that evening?
She went home with us.
Then what happened?
The lack of empathy he had and the fact that during when we were at the emergency vet, I had forgotten my wallet and he huffed and puffed and was not very happy that he had to
I don't
pay
care.
for it.
Happy. He paid the vet bill.
Yeah.
He paid the vet bill.
Yes.
Let us move on. Do you remember, by the way, how much the vet bill was?
It was $1,700.
Just a minute. So he paid $1,700
Yes.
to have his cat seen in the emergency room.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Keep going.
That is when I decided I no longer wanted to be.
You don't no longer want to be with him.
Yes.
Fine. Good. And?
and for the lack of empathy he had towards her. I asked if I may keep the cat while he kept his other cat within the time, and he did agree that I have in text that I was allowed to keep her throughout this breakup.
Okay, well, I'd like to see the text.
Here's the one. Sorry.
What was the rest of your message, Paul? Hope you were doing okay. I wanted to talk to you about something important. I've been thinking about doing
That
a lot
was
of
the end. That was the start of the breakup letter I had to send him.
Okay, but his message did not follow this.
That was exactly my thought of how confusing it was.
Well, that's very confusing to me.
That's exactly what he sent me after I sent him a very elongated, very kind letter.
I don't know what it says. Did you allow her to keep your cat Dumpling?
I did not. So I actually have the response text.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
That doesn't sort of make sense. This one says, okay, you can keep Dumpling, and I will send you $400 later. And this one says, you can't. I'm taking both cats with me. I just spent over $1,700 on Dumpling, who you say I supposedly don't care about. I do not want any of the furniture. You can keep it all. Okay. So you moved.
Yes.
Okay. What makes you think you have any right to this cat?
Just because I have taken care of her. When Halstead and I first got together, he wanted to get rid of all 3 of his animals, and I took them into my home where I actually didn't allow pets. Shortly after that, he did move in with me while he continued to commute to DC for work while I took care of them all week long, besides, the 2 days that he
had them
home.
since 2008. He had the cat in question, I believe, since 2018. That is 4 years before he met you.
Yeah, and I didn't want him to give them away to, at the time, his late wife's roommates, and me taking them in. They were under my care for the entire year and a half we were together.
Who cares?
Yeah.
That doesn't make it your cat. That makes the cat a cat that was living with the 2 of you.
Yes, ma'am. And with that being said, when Halstead did come home to retrieve his belongings, he had taken everything out of the closet, took one cat and left Dumpling, and accused me for stealing her when he had taken all of the other cat's medications needed and left Dumpling. So from our conversation of being able to keep the cat, I didn't think anything from that.
I want to see that. This isn't a conversation. Neither is what he gave. This isn't the conversation. This is just a line that starts someplace that has a question before it. Okay, you can keep Dumpling. It's not the way you start a letter that you write to somebody after she's just written you a goodbye note. That's not the way it starts. So,
unfortunately, it is the way it starts, ma'am. It was mind-boggling to myself that everything that I have written here.
Just a second.
Yes.
In this text, he says he wants Dumpling back.
Yes.
That he's just spent $1,700 on it. That is a demonstration of his commitment to the cat. Which came first, this or this?
The one prior, but unfortunately I don't have any
Just
evidence
a second.
from him and I.
You mean this one was first?
Yes, ma'am.
And this one was second.
And then we had...
And this one, he says, I'm coming to get my cat.
Which he did not take. He took the one cat and left Dumpling, and we did have a verbal agreement. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof or evidence of that.
Anyway, he's not getting any money, but he's getting his cat back. Sir, I will prepare an order, Mr. Halstead. You may take it to your local marshal, and you may go and pick up your cat if you wish. Do you understand?
100%.
You have 5 days in which to do that. If you don't accomplish that in 5 days, the order will read that the cat reverts back to the defendant and it will be titled in her name. Do you understand?
Gotcha.
That's reasonable?
100%.
Very good. That's the judgment of the court. We've finished.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This court is adjourned.
Nidra Hunter is suing business owner Tamika Young for a party bus refund and punitive damages.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 3018, Hunter versus Young.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Hunter, you were planning your wedding,
Yes,
and the wedding was planned for what date?
October 8th, 2022.
Miss Young, what's the name of your company,
Luxury Queen and Mr. Party Bus.
and where is it located?
It's in Detroit
How long have you owned it?
since 2017.
And it's a party bus company, then you must have party buses registered in the company name. I'm going to check it. How many party buses do you have registered in the company name?
Well, actually,
No, not actually. That's a question that I have for you. How many party buses do you have registered in the company name?
none.
How many party buses do you have registered in your own name?
None.
So it's a fair statement that when you advertise that you're a party bus company, what you do is you subcontract that out.
Yes, ma'am.
You know where I'm going, right? Do you see any advertising under the name of that company? Because that's how the plaintiff got to the defendant.
I do. I see their Facebook page. In addition, they have a website.
May I see both, please?
Sure. This is their Facebook page.
Okay, let me see. We have the best rates, limo service. Okay. Now, is this what is on their website as their party buses? Let's take a look.
So if you go about, when you go to book now, it gives you just these options, 4 options for vehicles, and then a place to leave your message. And that's it.
Got it. So what you did was, in anticipation of your wedding, you wanted a party bus to take about 30 guests
Yes.
so that everybody was together.
Yes.
For photographs to a park, whatever it is, and get you to and from the venue to the party afterwards. And you looked on the internet and you found Miss Young's company.
Correct.
Your wedding was in October. On what date did you contact Miss Young?
It was in March.
Do you have any written contract or communication with her?
Text message.
May I see it, please? Who are you, by the way?
I'm the driver.
Are you related?
Yes,
How are you related?
I'm her nephew.
How old are you?
20.
I'll get to you in a minute.
I just found something interesting. So there's a video posted by the defendant on the work page on Facebook saying prom season is approaching, with a video of a large white bus that looks like it would be about 25 to 30 people. And somebody in the comments inquired and said, interested, how much for 5 hours? And the defendant says in March of 22, this bus posted is no longer available. This one being, she sends a video of a different bus, is 15 to 20 passengers for 5 hours is $11.50
So in March
of 22.
of 2022, she indicated that that party bus was no longer available.
Which looks larger than the one she suggested in the comments, saying the one that was originally posted about
you have
prom.
a date in March?
Yeah, March 12th, 2022.
And it was the defendant saying to another party.
A different party.
Different party, that bus is no longer available.
But here's a different video of a different bus that seats 15 to 20.
Got it.
Lists the rate for that.
Okay, so, very good. Well, how come you told her the bus was available?
That bus particularly was available in March.
No. You told somebody else that the bus wasn't available on March 12th, within 24 hours. So in March, when you were dealing with her and her wedding, you already told somebody that you don't have access to that bus anymore. That's what you...
That particular bus, but Your Honor, I have different types of buses.
You know what? You don't have anything. Miss Young, you don't have anything. We established that.
I have access
You
to it.
don't have access to anything more than she has, more than I have.
I work with different companies and I am their driver.
You are a subcontractor, and you make promises like you did to her, and then, because clearly, $950, she paid you.
Absolutely.
She paid you. And how many days before her wedding did you tell her that there was a problem with that bus? How many days before?
It was September 26th that I called and had a conversation with her. Would I have that information here that we had this conversation, that bus was no longer available because it was in an accident.
You know, I don't like you to think that you're really dealing with somebody that's stupid. You just told me that you have access to many different companies. So if you have access to many different companies and you've contracted for a 30-passenger bus that looks like that, use one of your other contacts. I wouldn't use your company ever. Because what it was is a bait and switch. You baited her with a 30-passenger bus that she needed.
No.
3 weeks before her wedding, you say, that bus, either you told her was in an accident. According to your answer, you said it was having mechanical difficulties. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Well,
mechanical accident, same thing.
no, it's not the same thing. It's not that, and you don't own the bus. It's not the same thing, and you don't own the bus.
I have access to it. I have access to it.
I'm going to tell you, madam,
bookings.
it's a bait and switch. Now you can stand up, because what happened was she sent you a smaller bus. You want a refund.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. Move over here. You have a chauffeur's license?
Yes.
Take it out. May I see it, please? Well, you didn't have a commercial driver's license in October of 2022.
I was trained to be.
I don't care what you were trying to be. Your commercial license wasn't issued until January of 2023. Is that correct?
Yes. I'm a school bus driver. I had to get that as for the drive. I had a chauffeur's license at the time when I was driving them.
You needed this to drive a commercial bus, and you didn't have it at the time that you were driving. Okay, so first you arrived late, right?
Yes, but that was because I had the wrong address.
Who gave you the address?
It was on the itinerary.
That she gave you.
Yes.
That's the information that she gave me.
Impossible.
I promise you.
Just a second. You live in the same community?
I live in Detroit, but Detroit has different
Just
counties,
a second. Do you?
cities. Yes.
Transportation is your business. What was the name of a hotel she was staying at?
I didn't even know it was a hotel that she
What was the
stayed
name
in.
of the hotel?
I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
Holiday Inn.
Okay. Listen, I'd like to give you money for your aggravation, but you got married, right?
Yes,
You happy?
we are.
This your husband?
Yes.
Are you happy?
Yes.
Look happy. All she should say to you is, I'm sorry, because it was clearly, in my mind, a bait and switch. She baited you for a 30-passenger bus, which she did not have. She never told you she was subcontracting for that bus, did she?
No.
Of course not.
Nidra Hunter claims business owner Tamika Young owes her a refund after bringing the wrong size party bus to her wedding.
Now, based upon the website, you would assume, and the photographs and the videos that are on Facebook, you would assume that your company provides buses that you own, not that you subcontract to other people. There's no question in my mind that's a bait and switch. That's what it was. And I doubt whether you ruined their wedding because they tried to make the best.
I tried to make the best of her wedding. I reached out to her. I called her. I let her know what bus I was switching her out to, which I have the video here.
Bait and switch.
I understand you said it's a bait and switch. I get to the bottom of it, but I did kind of accommodate her when the situation. I offered her a refund.
You offered her a refund. She paid you $950. What did you offer her?
$950.
You offered her $950
Absolutely.
in cash.
Absolutely. The day when I switched her bus.
Just a second.
Then again, when
No,
we got there,
that's because that's not what I read. I read that you offered her something towards her next ride. You offered her the
offered her
$950?
$950.
That's what she's going to get, $950.
That's what the contract was.
Just a second. Did you?
And then when Antoine got there and she wasn't happy with that bus, due to when I explained to her over the phone conversations that this 15 to 20 passengers, if
never
it's
said
20,
that.
if it's tight, different.
I guess. You know, it's a hustle. What your website is a hustle. He is not a professional driver. He's a 20-year-old kid who couldn't even get to the right address.
Because she
who got there late.
sent the
No,
wrong
she didn't give you a wrong address to get to her
did,
wedding.
because I asked her for her information and she sent it to me.
And you bait and switched her with a large bus. And at the end of the day,
But
it's
I-
not easy to. Yes, you did. $950. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's it. We're done.
This court is adjourned.
Edward Taylor is suing his former friend, Sabra Crockett, for the cost of a van.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 3065, Taylor versus Crockett.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mr. Taylor,
Yeah.
I read your complaint. I have several questions for you.
Okay.
When was the last time you owned a car in your name?
October of last year,
What kind of car did you own?
2010 Lexus.
What happened to that car?
The upper and lower control arms were broke, and I couldn't drive it because I felt that it was too unsafe.
How long did you have that car?
About 4 months.
Was it insured?
Yes.
By whom?
I don't have the name of the insurance company with me, but it was insured.
prior to that, you had that car for 4 months. What was the car you had previous to that?
Previous to that, 2000 Cadillac SDS.
On either of these cars that you had, either the Cadillac or the Lexus, had you accrued tickets and fines?
Yes.
How much?
I believe my tickets are around a couple thousand.
On both of those cars?
No, not on those cars, from cars prior.
I'm talking, well, you couldn't have registered either one of those cars, sir, if you had $2,000 in fines on other cars.
I have a photograph of the picture of the registration.
Of what?
To the Lexus on my phone.
Did you pay the $2,000 in fines on previous cars?
No.
No. Now we can get started with this case.
Okay.
This case says that you purchased a van. For whatever reason you purchased the van. The defendant was a friend of yours. You asked to put the van in her name.
She asked.
No, that's not right, dear.
Okay. Go ahead.
Get it together, sir.
All
Would you
right.
please? I'm going to be respectful to you. You be respectful to me.
Amen.
Good. You asked to put the car in her name because you had unpaid fines and tickets and couldn't have it in your own.
Okay.
That's not an okay.
Okay,
That is a yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, just as long as we're getting it together.
Okay.
And she did. You bought the van. You paid $2,400 for it.
No, ma'am.
How much did you
The
pay
total
for it?
price, I have the bill of sale here. Evidence.
It says here in your complaint, sir, I paid $2,500 for the van.
Yes, I made a payment on the van since then of
May I see,
$200.
may I
Yes.
see the papers that he's showing me? I went to visit my friend in April 2022, who was a bishop, parked next to an old van at the church owned and asked if they would be willing to sell it. He said the church would sell me the van. I paid $2,500 for the van. That's your sworn complaint.
Okay.
Okay is
Yes.
not, okay is great.
Right, but they decided that they wanted $2,900. I do have, Your Honor, I do have the receipt.
I don't, listen to me, sir.
Okay.
I don't care.
All right.
The reason you put the van in the defendant's name was because legally you were not allowed to put it in yours because you had unpaid fines. And what happened, according to the defendant, is that in the time that you had the van, which was from what month and year to what month and year?
May the 1st of 2022, and she brought the police.
When did she take the van back?
May the 7th. May the 7th of this year.
And in that year, according to the defendant, she took the van back because you had, again, acquired a lot of tickets on it.
2 tickets, which I paid.
Really?
Yes, I have the receipt.
Well, then she's going to have to show me. She said you acquired $1,600 worth of tickets. Is that what you wrote?
Yes, I did write that, Your Honor.
Do you have proof of that?
I have proof as what the tickets are and what it would cost to get this van in shape.
No, that's not what I asked you. I said,
I have some here, yes,
just
I
a
do.
second.
Okay.
Answer. At this point, he owed me $1,600 in toll fees.
Please?
Do you have proof that he, in that year, he accrued while driving the van
No, Your Honor.
Why not?
Because the $1,600 was including everything that needed to be added to this van.
No, Miss Crockett.
Yes.
No, Miss Crockett. That's not what you said here. You said you took it. I'm going to read
Yes,
you
I
what
know.
you wrote.
Yes, dear.
At that point, he owed me $1,600 in toll fees, and I didn't trust him to do the right thing. Before the van was completely worthless, I decided to have the police come and get it.
Yes.
So how much were the fees? You said toll fees. How much could you prove that he had accrued in toll fees? You didn't spend any money for this van, and I absolutely believe that you should have taken it back. Under normal circumstances, you should have taken it back if he accrued any tickets on the van because you're liable for that.
Yes.
And he's got a miserable history with paying his fines.
Yes. Yes,
Do you
Your Honor.
understand?
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. How much can you prove he had in toll fees?
The tickets that I have here pictures of.
Well, show me.
Okay.
I didn't ask you for anything. Are you showing me text messages? I want to see toll fees.
That's all I have, dear, is the text messages.
From whom?
Between Edward and myself, and some pictures of the tolls, the tickets that I sent to him through the
I would like
phone.
to see the
Okay.
tickets that you sent him. I don't want to see text messages.
Edward Taylor claims his former friend, Sabra Crockett, owes for the cost of a van. Sabra says the van was stolen and she owes him nothing.
You're the owner of the car. You would have gotten notification of toll fees.
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Well, then I want to see them. Look that up. Give me the low range.
1,600 to 4,000.
Miss Crockett, it's taken you too much time to find what was clear.
All right, here's two, my dear.
There's
Have
two what?
more. Here you go, young man.
Yeah. Well, I have one, and she says to you that she got a collections notice on a ticket from September 13th in the amount of $110.17. So you need to call this lady. And then on May 5th, she says to you, your balance from other tickets would be $601.17.
No, ma'am. I have 2 tickets here.
Mm-hmm.
One that's $33 from Trenton. I was in Trenton. I have one that says $110.17.
Right.
I have letters here that state that she received the money.
Just a second. When did you get the fines?
I didn't get pulled over. This was like from a camera shot. And there was no toll booth in Trenton. This
How
was
come
an
it went?
overhead
Just
camera.
a second. It went to collections, sir.
The-
So if she was notified of a ticket, listen to me.
Okay.
If she was notified of a ticket, believe me, this lady notified you right away.
No, she didn't. I can prove it.
Go ahead.
The letter that she sent me said that the ticket was September the 13th, 2022. 7 months later, I have here from her one ticket that says $110.17 and another ticket that says 33. That's $143.17.
I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about why did it go to collections?
Because she didn't turn the money in that I've stuck in her mailbox, and I have proof here that I stuck the money in her mailbox.
Just a second. On what date did you put money in her mailbox?
I have it here on March the 15th. It says,
Just a second. March? Just a
Yes.
second.
March the
5th?
26th
March-
at 5:15, I got a text message from Miss Moore. I just got it this morning, the money you put in my mailbox. I got it, but you are still late. I will send you the picture of the ticket. Now, this is the first time I gotten a ticket from her, period. The one for 33 and the one for 110. This other thing about $116, she can't show you that she sent it to me. She cannot. For her life, she can't show you that. Here are the 2 tickets that she sent, and on my phone, I have a balance of $60.17.
Oh, well, maybe
From
this
her.
says 60, although it looked like
Oh,
601.17.
no, $60 and
60?
It's $60, Your Honor.
$60.17?
Yes, dear.
Yes, not
Okay.
600.
That was on Friday, May 5th.
Yes. On Monday, May the 1st, I paid her $182 for insurance. Here's the letter that she sent me about the
May I?
insurance due.
This is in,
Here's another one. Wait,
just a second.
okay.
Let's start with this, Mr. Taylor. The fact that you tried to scam the Department of Motor Vehicles starts you off with a problem. Do you understand?
Yes.
With me. Starts you off with a problem. Because if you know that you're not allowed by law to register a car in your name because you have unpaid fines from whatever state you're from. What state are you from?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania. You have unpaid fines. and you try to circumvent the law by physically owning a car, having it in your possession, and being the sole driver of the car, and putting it in someone else's name to circumvent the fact that you haven't paid tickets, doesn't put you in a good place here.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We understand that. It's like buying a car without a driver's license and saying, you know what? This is the car I want. I have no driver's license because they took my license away for drunk driving, but I need a car to get around. So I'll give you the money, you buy the car, and I'll drive it. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's against the law. So when people come into court who have already broken the law, and you ask me to find in your favor and return a car to you that you can't own, you understand? We have a problem. That's where we're starting from. Now, similarly, you were an accomplice because you knew that he couldn't have a car in his name. Are you denying that you knew he couldn't have a car in his name?
Yes, I am denying that, Your Honor.
Now you tell me why you thought uncross your arms, why you thought he needed the car put in your name rather than him owning the car himself.
Okay, this is how it went, Your Honor.
Now, I asked you a question.
Yes.
I mean, do you own a car?
Yes, I do.
Did you pay for it?
Yes, I did.
Is it in your name?
Yes, it surely is.
It surely is. Who is this person?
This is my girlfriend, my neighbor, and my friend.
Does she own a car?
Yes, she does.
Is it in her name?
Directly, yes, it is.
Okay, so you know that if he bought a car with money,
yes,
and said to you, put it in your name, there had to be a reason.
Definitely.
What did you think the reason was?
When I got to the Allstate office to get the title change, he approached me and said, could you put it in my name because I have a lot of tickets?
That's what I just said.
Yes, but I didn't know that. I knew that he had a lot of tickets. I said, I'm going to give you 3 months.
It doesn't make any difference. What you did was, you knew he couldn't put it, uncross. You knew he couldn't put it in his name because, for the same reason the drunk driver couldn't put a car in their name, they had no license. He wasn't allowed to own a car unless he paid off his fines on his old cars.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were an accomplice in that by putting it in your name. That's what I'm telling you. That's not a question. That's a statement. There's a difference between a question and a statement. I'm making a statement to you.
Yes, you are.
You knew?
No, I did not know, dear.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I did not, because when I met Mr. Taylor, he was driving a Chrysler 3000.
Who cares? He told you he couldn't put it in his name because of the tickets.
For the tickets.
That's what...
Yes, dear.
That's exactly what I said to you. He told you he couldn't put it in his name because of the tickets.
Edward Taylor is accusing his former friend, Sabra Crockett, of refusing to pay for his van after it was stolen. Sabra says she did Edward a favor, and he still owes her for parking tickets.
So, Mr. Taylor, I am disinclined to help you, but I want to know what happened to this van, just out of curiosity. Now, I know the van was stolen once and recovered. Was stolen a couple of months after you were driving it.
6 weeks after I brought it.
6 weeks. It was sad. And then you got it back, got it out of impound, a couple of parts or whatever. But you were still driving it because you drove it for a year after it was stolen the first time. You took it back more recently because you say you got these tickets, whatever. You took it back.
Yes.
It wasn't smart of you to do it in the first place if you knew that he was breaking the law by having this car.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened to the van?
I retrieved the van.
Yes, I know you did.
And with the police.
On what date did you go and get the van?
I got the van on May 3rd, 2023.
No.
Where is it now?
Somebody stole it, Your Honor.
From where?
In front of my house.
Do you have a police report?
Yes, I do, dear.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Here you go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This young man here.
And Allstate is the insurer.
Yes, dear.
Did you advise Allstate that it was stolen?
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
They gave me a claim number and said they'll call me in a couple days.
And did they call you? Or you're waiting for the call?
I was waiting for the call, yes.
Oh, well, then you have to wait, sir. If you get any money, you have to give it to him. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
I have talked to Allstate, but it was only, what is it, liability on it? No other?
Well, that would not be my problem. That would be his problem. You put insurance on this.
Yes, I pay
Well,
every month.
it depends upon what kind of insurance you have.
$80
If you get any money back from Allstate for the van, listen, this just happened. We're talking about something that happened 23 days ago. You're not a priority for Allstate. So I don't know whether they're going to give you any money or not. It depends upon his insurance. All I'm telling you is if you get any money for this stolen van, it belongs to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Has he cleared up all the tickets that are in your name?
No, dear.
How much is outstanding in tickets
Probably-
that you can prove?
Probably $50.
I don't care about $50. I mean, I care about $50.
Okay.
I care about $50, but not as much as this tape is costing to tape this case. So you understand that if you get the check and if you had insurance to cover your van, sir, pay attention. If you had insurance to cover your van, I'm directing her to turn that money over to you if she gets it.
Yes.
If she doesn't get it, you get nothing.
Okay. But how would I know if she got it?
Well, you trusted her to put the car in her name, didn't you?
But I can't, Your Honor, can I show you this here where I don't owe anything for tickets?
I don't care.
No,
Do you understand?
I'm just saying.
I don't care. You
Okay.
do owe for your old car's tickets.
Okay, yes.
You
but I'm
do
saying
owe
concerning-
thousands of dollars for your old cars
Yes,
tickets.
I agree.
All I'm saying to you is that if you had full coverage on this van instead of just liability, if you hit somebody, she should get a check for a stolen car. If you do not have that on the van, she will not. So I would suggest that we will prepare an order for this car that you can send to Allstate, which is your insurer, that if there is a check, her insurer, which if there is a check, that check should be forwarded to you. Whether they will do that or not, I don't know. But I doubt very much whether you were paying for anything other than the minimum liability on this van. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's right. But
Then you would get nothing. Then you would get nothing. She doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Got stolen.
I knew nothing about it being stolen.
Well, just so that you
Until
know,
now.
this is the police report. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll take it back now. Got it?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Your case is dismissed.
এটা তো ডিএসএলআর মতো হলো কিভাবে কি কেমনে কি মানে ফিল্টার কি লাগানো অন্য কিছু
না ওই যে পুরো মোড থেকে তুলছি আমি
আমারটাও তো তুলছি এটা
পুরো মোড দিয়ে আমি এটা তুলে দিয়ে পুরো মোড
ও পুরো মোট দেয় নাম হলো লিপায়া
আমি না বললাম জানলো যে ফুল ফলের নাম বের হলো তো লিপাইয়া
লিপায়া
আমি তো ভালো
লিপায়া